Now, over the past couple of years, the NHL has done a lot of talk about expanding once again, and one team that always gets brought up is the Quebec Nordiques. People want to see the Quebec Nordiques back into the NHL, so that's what I'm doing today. The Quebec Nordiques are going to be returning. I'm going to be completing an expansion draft, and I'm going to be taking over as GM for the next 10 seasons. Before we get to the expansion draft, though, we have to be disappointed in the draft lottery because I need to see this team get the third overall pick, because why wouldn't we get the third overall pick? Surprisingly, that's actually not going to be happening, and we're going to be jumping up from 3 to 2. Boston's jumping from 6 to 1, and the San Jose Sharks, well, they're going to be dropping from 1 to 3. So for the first time in a very long time, we're actually not going to be getting the third overall pick, but instead the second. We're already off to an amazing start. Before we get to the entry level draft, though, we have the expansion draft to go through. We have 31 different NHL teams to select players from. Of course, we're not going to be selecting a player from the Seattle Kraken. They're not really an old enough franchise yet, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm not going to be stealing a player from them. However, from 31 other NHL teams, we are going to be taking some players. And my thought process with the expansion draft, don't take on a lot of money. I want to have lots of cap space so we can make some moves in free agency. We should just try to go for young players that are going to have a little bit of trade value. With that being said, I think our very first selection might be Ville Husso. We are going to need a backup goaltender, and at 2.2 million, that's not too bad of a cap hit, because looking at all the other players here, I think Ville Husso is really our best option. So Ville Husso, you're going to be the first player brought to the team in the expansion draft. We're already off to an amazing start. Moving on to the Boston Bruins, Marcus Stelic, I think you make the most sense. Locked down for 3 years at 1.5 million. You can be a decent enough bottom six piece for us. Alex Tuch is not going to be protected by the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, we're definitely going with him, but Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is also available. Okay, there is two amazing options we can go with, but I think we just go with 87 overall Alex Tuch. We re-sign him to the team. I think that's a no-brainer. Now, if Alex Tuch is going to be available, it's making me wonder who else is going to be available. Like, are we going to see some absolute superstars not protected? Potentially. One team that I know for a fact we're going to get a great player from is the Florida Panthers. They can't protect everybody. Moving on to our next selection, though, I think we go with Miro Manov. He can be a good third-pairing defenseman for us. He can even play in the AHL. I'm not expecting him to be a superstar. When it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes, we actually could just go with Eric Robinson. He can be a good bottom six piece on a reasonable cap hit. 1.7 for the next 4 years. Never mind, Kochetkov, welcome to the team. I don't know why you're not protected, but yeah, we're going with Kochetkov. I'm not even considering any other option. When it comes to the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Murphy, we might just go with you, and I might not even bring you back to the team. I might trade you immediately, but I think I actually have to give you a contract extension immediately after the expansion draft, so I think more than likely we're just going to take you here and then not bring you back to the team. Moving on over to the Colorado Avalanche, I don't really want to spend a lot of money, so I'm kind of looking at Ross Colton. Granted, Josh Manson wouldn't really be that bad. He is 33 years old, so I don't know if that makes the most sense for us. Jack Drury, you're only 25 years old. I'll have to give you a contract extension pretty quick here, but I think that's going to be worth it. Moving on over to the Columbus Blue Jackets, Damian Severson is going to be available. Yeah, that's who we're going to go with. I'm not going to put too much thought into that selection. We're going with Severson. And then when it comes to the Dallas Stars, I think we'll go with Maverick Bourque. He's a good young player. We'll have to re-sign him, but he has potential. Moving on over to the Detroit Red Wings, I think it's about time that we bring a winger to the team. We've only drafted one right winger so far. With that being said, Berggren, welcome to the team. We're going with another center. Sometimes you just have to go with the best player available, and in this situation, that's Jake Wallman. So Jake Wallman, welcome to the team. We shouldn't have any problems re-signing you. And then when it comes to the Florida Panthers, there's two guys I'm looking at. Evan Rodriguez and Luosterainen. I'm assuming Sergei Bobrovsky is being protected. Yes, he is. I think we go with Luosterainen just because he's 5 years younger than Evan Rodriguez. He's an 83 overall. Adrian Kempe is available. Yep, that's an easy selection. Kempe, welcome to the team. Jonas Brodin's going to be available as well. We could go with Jonas Brodin here. However, I want to take a look at goaltenders. Gustafson's available. I wasn't sure if it was going to be Gustafson or Jesper Wallstedt. I think we have to go with 89 overall Gustafson. I can't pass up on an 89 overall goaltender. We have our starter for the near future. Moving on over to the Montreal Canadiens, I think it's time for us to bring another winger to the team, and that winger could be Patrick Laine. However, Jake Evans is on a really good contract, 2.8 for the next 4 years. We do have a lot of centermen on the team. I think we just go with Patrick Laine. Yes, he has a pretty big cap hit right now, but I think we can work around that. Nick Perbix, you're a stick on the ice legend, so I'm going to be selecting you next. Moving over to the New Jersey Devils, we're going to go with another defenseman. This one's going to be Siegenthaler, 87 overall. I can't be passing up on him. And then when it comes to the New York Islanders, who's a really cheap player? Like, at the end of the day, I'm probably just going to take the cheapest option available. And I think that's going to be Adam Boquist. Only $800K for one season. I can live with that contract. Even if I have to give him an extension, it's not going to be too bad. This is a tough one, though. Braden Schneider or Will Cooley? Will Cooley, actually. We don't have any left wingers on the team. That was not a difficult decision whatsoever. Even this decision is not going to be too difficult. Zutterland, I need some more wingers on the team. We're going to be bringing you in. We still have $30 million in cap space, so I'm not too concerned right now. Zamula, you're going to be the next player picked up. A stick on the ice legend. I'm happy I can bring you to the team. And speaking of stick on the ice legends, Justin Brazeau, welcome to the team. That's an amazing pickup. Now, there obviously isn't too many teams left if we've reached the San Jose Sharks. We clearly need some more left wingers on the team. I'm really going to bring Jeff Skinner to the team. That's who we're going to be selecting from the San Jose Sharks. We really don't have that many options, so I guess we have to go with him. When it comes to the St. Louis Blues, I don't want to go with Cam Fowler because he's 33 years old. Bukestad's 32. Joseph's only 28, so maybe we go with him. But Toropchenko has left wing as a secondary position. He's only 25 years old. We should be able to re-sign him for pretty cheap, so we're going to be bringing him in next. Moving on over to the Tampa Bay Lightning, I can't pass up on this man. I don't care if we have more than enough right wingers. It's Pontus Holmberg. Why on earth would you turn down Pontus Holmberg? I just can't do that to my mans. Now with our next selection, I think I'm actually going to go with another defenseman, Jake McCabe, 4.5 for the next 5 years, but in 2 seasons, his modified no trade is going to be kicking in, so we could move on from him pretty quick. After bringing Jake McCabe to the team, we're going to be left with $18 million, so let's not spend too much money with these next couple selections. I think we just go with Michael Carcone to play some 4th line minutes. When it comes to the Vancouver Canucks, why on earth is he not protected? What are we doing here, NHL 26? Why on earth is Quinn Hughes not protected? This is Quinn Hughes we're talking about. This is 95 overall Quinn Hughes. This is the official NHL 26 roster, and they're not protecting Quinn Hughes. They're not protecting Thatcher Demko as well. Okay, the Vancouver Canucks are incredibly stupid. This man's under contract for 2 more seasons. Now that we've brought Quinn Hughes to the team, that kind of changes my perspective on things, because we might be able to compete early on in this video. Like, yeah, we don't have the greatest forward core, but our defensive core is elite, and we have really good goaltending right now. I don't think it's going to be too difficult for us to make a couple trades, improve the forward core a ton, and then go win a Stanley Cup in year number 1. Like, we somehow got Quinn Hughes on the team. How on earth did that happen? I have no clue, but we have one more selection to make. Morgan Barron, that's going to be you. We really got Quinn Hughes in the expansion draft. What on earth is happening? So this is the team we're going to be drafting. Alex Tuch, Kochetkov, Jake Wallman, Adrian Kempe, Gustafsson, Patrick Laine, Siegenthaler, Will Cooley. We even have Quinn Hughes on top of all those guys. Yeah, we only have to make 1 or 2 trades and we're going to be ready for a cup. And you know what? We might be making trades sooner than later because we do have the 2nd overall pick. And if there's a franchise potential player projected number 1, we're moving up in the draft. And is that going to be the case? Are we going to be bringing a franchise potential player in 1st overall? It doesn't look like it. But you know what? Things might be working out for us. It's a defensive defenseman projected 1st overall. The guy who's projected 2nd overall might be a sniper, and we could really use a sniper. So we're not going to be moving up in the draft. The 1st overall pick is going to be an 80 overall. When it comes to the 2nd overall pick, I'm really hoping this guy's going to be a sniper. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. He's a 2-way forward, and as long as he can put the puck in the back of the net and he takes a lot of shots, I'm okay with bringing a 2-way forward to the team. So not only are we bringing in elite prospects, we're bringing in superstar players during the expansion draft. I don't know how this team is winning as much as they are, but you know what? I'm here for it. And can we get a medium elite potential goaltender in the 2nd round? We're going to be unstoppable over the next decade. Nobody's going to be taking Stanley Cups away from us. Now, the rest of this draft is not looking good at all, so I think we should make a couple trades. Maverick Bourque, I'm actually going to send you back to the Dallas Stars, as well as the 69th overall, the 102nd overall, Nick Perbix. And who are we going to bring into the team to be our top playmaker? Wyatt Johnston. They're going to be saying no to this deal, but that's because they want a 7th round pick. And once we bring Wyatt Johnston to the team, I think we actually might be set when it comes to our forward core. Maybe the bottom 6 needs some upgrades, but I think we have a lot of amazing pieces to build around. Like when it comes to our 1st line, we're going to be looking at Kempe, Alex Tuch, and Wyatt Johnston. We can work with that. When it comes to the 2nd line, Will Cooley, Patrick Laine, and then we need to bring in a playmaking center. Once we have that, I think we have a really good top 6. We have a great supporting cast we can work with. Let's go try to find another playmaking center. Now, in order to bring the 2nd playmaker I want to the team, Zarlin and Zamula have to be included in a 3-team trade. I'm going to send them over to the Carolina Hurricanes, and we're going to bring in a 1st round pick that was originally Dallas's. Now, what we're going to do with that 1st round pick is I'm going to package up with a 5th and 6th rounder, including a future 3rd rounder, and we're going to bring in Matt Barzal to be our 2nd line playmaker. This is a little bit risky because Matt Barzal is getting paid $9.1 million right now, but he's going to find success on this team. He's going to be a great playmaker for us. The other concern I have with him being paid $9.1 million is we have to re-sign a lot of players. I'm hoping we have enough cap space to do so. So we've made it to the re-sign phase, and now it's time to sign all the important pieces. Kempe, Tuch, Jake Wallman, Patrick Laine, Gustafsson has to be re-signed as well. there is a chance that Patrick Laine might not come back to the team, and even Jake Wallman, because I need to make sure we bring Kempe back. This is way better than I was expecting. I thought we were going to be in the $12 million range. We might get this down to $8 million with a full no movement. Because why would I give you a no trade clause if I can just give you a no movement? It's the same difference. So Kempe is going to be coming back for $8 million. That's amazing. Alex Tuch, how much are you going to be looking for? Oh yeah, we're perfectly fine. Everyone's coming back to the team. No worries whatsoever. Alex Tuch, let's do $6.3 million with an additional year. You actually don't want to do that additional season. So we'll just do 6.3 for the next 3. He's going to be coming back as well. Jake Wallman, how much are you looking for? $6 million. That's amazing. We can do 5.5. So Jake Wallman's coming back for $5.5 million. I don't care if I give him a no movement. We can just ride out that contract. And then Gustafsson, how much do you want? $7.6 million. I'm not going to give you a no trade because you have let me down in the past. I'll do 7.3 for the next 7 though. So with all of those contracts handed out, who's accepting? Alex Tuch's accepting, Jake Wallman's accepting, Kempe's accepting, and Gustafsson's accepting. So all those key players were brought back to the team. When it comes to Patrick Laine, $5.4 million. I could work with that. I don't want to give you a no movement though. And could we do sub $5 million? If we have to give you a modified no trade, I am willing to do that. And I think that might be the case. So if we did a modified no trade, 50% team protection at $4.9 million, Patrick Laine might be able to come back to the team. He's going to be rejecting it at the dollar value. Maybe we just do $5 million with him. So we do $5 million for the next 6 seasons. He gets a modified no trade at 50% team protection. Patrick Laine has shown potential in videos in the past, so I'm perfectly fine with giving him that dollar amount. Murphy, you're not coming back. Skinner's not coming back. Duhaime, if we can re-sign you for cheap, I'll bring you back to the team, but you could be walking. I'll do 1.9 for the next 2 seasons. You're not really interested in 1.9, so how about 1.95? Hopefully you're going to be accepting that. Berggren, I'm hoping to do under $2 million. Oh, that's definitely under $2 million. We're bringing you back for the next 2 seasons at $1 million. Boquist, I think we have a surplus defenseman here, but at 1.9 million, you can definitely play third pairing minutes for me. Jack Drury, I'll do 1.7 for the next 2 seasons. And then with those extensions handed out, how much money do we have left? We have 1.8 million. So basically, we just have to decide between these 4 players right here, and I'm leaning towards Torpchenko. So I'll do 1.7 for 2 seasons, and that's going to be the final signing. I guess Holtz is willing to do a 2-way contract, so we can bring him back as well. And Miro Manoff, he might be willing to do a 2-way contract as well. Never mind, he's only looking at 1 way. So Miro Manoff, unfortunately, you're going to be leaving. Now, after re-signing all of those players, Quinn Hughes does still need an extension, and I'm hoping that we're going to have enough cap space to bring him back to the team. What is going on? Why does everyone want to stay in Quebec, and why does everyone want to sign such reasonable contracts? Quinn Hughes, let's do 9.5 million for the next 6 seasons. We actually might do sub 9 million. There is no way we're bringing this. Hold on. Why is contract interest not dropped? It's not dropping until we get to 8.5 million. I feel like 8.5 is cheating. I feel like I have to do a little bit more. I'm going to do 8.8 because 8.5 for Quinn Hughes does not seem fair. Truthfully, 8.8 for Quinn Hughes does not seem fair, but we're not going to question it. Everyone loves Quebec right now. Everyone wants to stick around. Will Cooley, how many years do you want? You're only looking for 2. I can do 3 years at 2.9 million. He's going to stick around for 2.9 for the next 3. That's $1 million less than what he's getting paid right now. Lusterrain, are you going to accept a 2-way contract? Okay, let's not get out of hand here, but 2.2 for the next 2 years. Lusterrain's going to be sticking around. And then Kochetkov, do you want like $1 million or something? Okay, he wants 6.2. That is reasonable for Kochetkov. We're probably going to trade him away here because we have our goaltender in Gustafsson, but nah, the team is looking elite right now. The only thing that could potentially hold us back in year number 1 is the fact that we have a terrible head coach. So if we don't see success in year 1, this is why. Now this is going to be the last trade we make before we head into our first official season. Kochetkov for Denton Mateychuk. I'm very surprised Kochetkov doesn't fit their trade block. Like, y'all don't have a goaltender right now. There is no reason you shouldn't be accepting this. It would be Kochetkov and a 3rd round pick for Denton Mateychuk. He's likely not going to be jumping into the lineup this season. I'll have him play 1 more season in the AHL, and then we'll sign him to a great deal. So it's time for us to finally dive in. Wyatt Johnston, Alex Tuch, Kempe. I'm expecting big things from you guys. Will Cooley, Matt Barzal, Patrick Laine. Big things are expected from you guys as well. When it comes to the bottom 6, I just want these guys to play their roles. When it comes to the defense, yeah, this is an elite defense. And then when it comes to goaltending, we have an elite goaltender. Gustafsson's an 89 overall. He's going to hold it down for me. I think we should be top 5 this season. Granted, there's a good chance we're not top top 5 because we have a terrible head coach. Like if I had $1 for every time a head coach has let me down, I fired them and then brought in a good one the following season, and we've won 60 games, I'd probably have $20, which isn't a lot, but that means it happened 20 different times. And that's kind of crazy. Also, if you think the NHL should bring the Quebec Nordiques back through an expansion draft, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm actually really annoyed at this. The only reason we're not a top 10 team is we have a terrible coach. The coach is holding us back. We're 18th in the entire league right now. This would be better if we had a better coach. Plain and simple. Like, there is no way this team is only scoring 2.94 goals per game. That's just not happening. So we're not going to make any moves at the deadline. We are not changing anything on this team. Next season, we're going to dominate once we have a better coaching staff, because that is the only reason that we're not winning right now. That is one thing I hate about NHL 26. Granted, this was in NHL 25, NHL 24, and even NHL 23. This has been in NHL games for so long. If you don't have a good head coach, it does not matter how good your team is. You could have a team of all 99 overall players. You will not see success if you have like a D- head coach. You probably won't even see success if you have a B head coach. You need an A+ head coach. You need a really good coaching staff. If you don't have those things, you're not going to see success, plain and simple. Now, season number 1 was an absolute disaster, but there's nothing that we can do here. We had a terrible coaching staff, 17th in the entire league, a 41, 35, and 6 record. It's the coaching staff. That's all I have to say. If we had a better coaching staff, this team would have seen success. Like, Quinn Hughes only led the team with 70 points. That is absolutely ridiculous. With the amount of talent on this team, we should be having way more success here. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to be Stanley Cup champions. They're taking down the Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games. Year number 1 doesn't count. We are going to pretend that this season didn't happen. The true rebuild begins once we get a new coaching staff. The Quebec Nordiques are going to begin the 17th overall pick. Calgary's getting the 6th overall from Vegas. The Rangers are getting the 9th overall pick from the Carolina Hurricanes. The Islanders are getting the 16th overall pick from Dallas. So Dallas is missing the playoffs. But the best part about this season, the St. Louis Blues jumped from 4-1. Now, us being bad this season actually might have helped us more than I was expecting. Hector Cullen projected anywhere from 20 to 22nd to 28th. He has lowly potential and he's also a gem. I think we go with this player. I know we're selecting him a little bit early, but lowly potential in the first round. He's also a gem. Starting off as a 65 overall, I think we walked away with one of the best players in the draft. And we're not done yet. I don't know what's been going on so far in this video. A mediumly potential defenseman starting off as a 59 overall. Like, besides our actual regular season record, which we had a terrible coach with, so there was nothing we could do, we did amazing in our first draft. We've done amazing in our second draft. We did an incredible job during the expansion draft. Once we bring in an elite coach, we're not going to be stopped. Now, we have $16 million in cap space, so Denton Matejchuk bringing you back to the team, that's not going to be a problem whatsoever. Can we do a 3-year deal? It looks like it. We'll do 3 years at $2 million, so Denton Matejchuk's going to be returning. Morgan Barron, Justin Brazeau, Pontus Holmberg, I think I'm going to let all of you guys walk, because we're going to be able to get some upgrades in free agency. Now, after not having to spend too much money during the re-sign phase, it's time to hand out some extensions. We're going to be starting with Siegenthaler. He's looking for a no movement, but I just can't do that. I can't be giving everybody no movements, and I've handed out way too many so far. So how about we just do 6.9 for the next 5 years? We don't do a no movement. You can continue to play second pairing minutes for me, and you can be an absolute stud. Berggren, how much are you going to be looking for? You want 4.2 million. How about we do 3.9 for the next 2 seasons? We have a decent amount of money to work with, so I can pay you that to play third line minutes for me. And then Tam, I think it's time we bring you to the team. You're playing third line minutes this season. So we have to bring in some players for the bottom 6, and we can either sign a couple players to 1-year deals. Like, we could bring in Tyler Seguin for 1 season, or we could even bring in Alex Killorn for 1 season. But there is another option, just finding guys that are willing to accept reasonable contracts and doing multi-year deals with them. One of these players potentially being Taylor Radish. Like, he's looking for $3 million right now, but I think we can get that down to 2.9. So I'm going to offer him 2.9 for the next 3 seasons, and then I'm going to do basically the exact same thing with Ryan Hartman. If we can bring both these guys in for 2.9 million and they can play some bottom 6 minutes, I think those are incredible deals. Another guy we can bring to the team and a stick on the ice legend in the past couple NHL games, we're going with Mason Appleton. I'll do 2.7 million for 1 season. So Mason Appleton's going to be accepting immediately. You'll love to see it. And then it also wouldn't hurt if we brought in a backup goaltender. Anton Forsberg, I guess I could go with you. I could go with Ville Husso again, but he didn't really perform for me last season. Granted, that was more because of the coaching staff and not really him. But I think we're going to go with Schmidt instead. 1.375 for the next 2 years. He's only 26 years old and he's accepting immediately, so why not? Now, I was about to get ready for next season. Then I realized Damien Severson has dropped 2 overalls. He's starting to regress really fast, so I think we should trade him sooner than later. So Severson, 2 second-round picks over to the Red Wings. Sandin Pellikka, I'm going to bring you to the team. If I have to give up a first-rounder in this deal, I'm actually not against that because I know this team's going to be locked in. However, I don't want to trade our first-round pick for this season. I'll trade our first-round pick for next season. Actually, Sandin Pellikka, welcome to the team. You're going to be an absolute dog for us in like 2 or 3 seasons. Now, the top 6 is going to be looking the exact same this season. The third line's actually looking better. Lusterrain's an 85, Berggren's an 85. Tham's going to be joining the team at 84. I think I called him Tam earlier. It's Tham, but that's neither here nor there. The forward core looks great. The defense looks spectacular. Gustafson's an 88 overall with an X factor. Now that we actually have a good coaching staff, 55 wins or bust. That's the expectation for Quebec moving forward. Now, Quebec, y'all got to figure it out. Plain and simple. You need to figure it out here because you are better than 9th in the entire league. You are better than a wild card team. Right now, the offense is still kind of mid. The defense is terrible. Plain and simple. We have to fix the defense here. And you know what? I think fixing the defense might not involve trading any of our defensemen, but instead trading Gustafsson, because I don't know what it is. I feel like I never have success with Gustafsson. I have had him on my team in a handful of videos, and I feel like whenever I have Gustafsson, it just never works out. He just never performs no matter what. 29 wins, 5 shots, a 902 and a 304. I don't know if it's our actual defense holding us back here, or it's Gustafsson holding us back. So maybe we just do both. We fix our defense and fix Gustafsson by trading him away. Granted, I'm actually not going to trade Gustafsson away in year number 2, but I wouldn't mind picking up a new defenseman. Like, Siegenthaler is going to stay on this team, no question about it. Jake Wallman's staying on the team, Quinn Hughes is staying on the team. There is one guy I would be willing to trade, and that's Jake McCabe. He's 33 years old, he's going to start aging out on us. He's not really playing that great alongside Quinn Hughes. We could ship him over to the New York Rangers, and who could we bring in? Braden Schneider. So how about we do that? So Jake McCabe, I'm looking to send you over to the New York Rangers. We'll bring Braden Schneider back. I'm hoping he's around an 87 overall. He's only an 86. That's perfectly fine. Braden Schneider's going to be brought to the team. We're going to try to go 1 for 1. I think I'm going to have to include a little more. Yes, I am. And I think what we're going to end up doing is Jake Wallman, you're going to play alongside Quinn Hughes. We're just going to load up that first pairing, and then our second pairing is going to be Braden Schneider and Siegenthaler. That's going to be a shutdown second pairing. That line probably won't produce a lot offensively, but they're not going to be allowing any pucks to end up in the back of the net. They're saying no to a 4th and 7th rounder, so how about I do a 3rd rounder and a 6th rounder? So both of these picks are better than what you were going to receive before. They're saying no. How about we just do a 3rd rounder and 2 7ths? The lucrative 7th round picks always come in clutch when you need them. Braden Schneider, welcome to the team. So after the trade deadline, the defense was better for Quebec. 6th in the entire league, a 48-29-5 record. Quinn Hughes and Jake Wallman were looking pretty solid alongside each other. The second pairing was keeping the puck out of the net. Although the plus minuses don't look that elite, who cares? We're one of the best teams in the NHL right now. Jake Wallman was plus 19. He's holding up his end of the bargain. Gustafsson, I should take a look at your numbers. I want to see how much they improved after we made those moves at the deadline. They look the exact same. Okay, we're going to pretend we didn't see those numbers from Gustafsson. We're just going to focus on the postseason because that's where we are. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. Enough said. Now, I will make this statement right now. If we lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs and we lose in humiliating fashion, then Gustafsson will be traded away. I will not bring this man back to the team, and there is a chance Gustafsson is already out the door. Luckily, we're going to be winning game number 4, but that's not enough for me. We need to win 4 more games. Technically, it's 3 more games, but we don't have to worry about winning 3 games, 2 games, or 1 game because we're eliminated. Great work. Before I even simulate to the end of the postseason, I don't care what the offensive numbers were. I just want to look at Gustafsson's numbers in between the pipes. An 873 and a 374. This is the exact reason why I didn't give you no movement. We're moving on from Gustafsson. He has let me down way too many times in franchise mode. I don't know why that's the case. I should have just held on to Kochetkov. So the Nashville Predators are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, taking down the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know why Nashville won a Stanley Cup? Because they have UC Saros, an incredible goaltender. That's what we need. We're not going to get UC Saros though, but we're going to get an incredible goaltender. The St. Louis Blues are going to be jumping from the 2nd overall to the 1st overall. So back-to-back years that team's been terrible. Wow, I've never seen that before in an NHL game. Them disrespecting the St. Louis Blues. Now, this draft was a little bit of a bust for us. The best player we're walking away with is going to come with the 26th overall pick. We're getting a medium top 6 potential player. Granted, he had some pretty good stats in juniors. 32 goals, 42 assists for 74 points. I'm not expecting him to jump into the lineup next season or anything, so if we give him a bit of time to develop, he might turn into a good bottom 6 piece for us. Now with the $21 million in cap space we have, we don't need to spend too much money here when it comes to re-signing players. Like, of course we'll sign some of these rookies, especially this mediumly potential goaltender, but outside that it's going to be really cheap deals. Sandin Pellikud, we should be able to sign you to a cheap deal. Could we do 2 years at $900K? We might be able to do 3 years. Okay, we can't quite do 3 years, but I can do 2 years at $900K. That'll keep you around for a couple more seasons, then we can sign you to a long-term deal. Kravitsov, you can leave. Mason Appleton, Torpchenko, Costello, Drury, all of you guys can leave the team. We have $20 million in cap space. We can sign some cheap players for the bottom 6. So if we have a lot of cap space, that means we have a lot of money when it comes to extensions. And Alex Tuch, I don't think you're going to be looking for too much. You're looking for a no movement clause, but I don't really want to do that. How about we just do 8.5 without any clauses? I think 8.5 is pretty fair. I mean, we could do a modified no trade, and I might do that. I take that back. A modified no trade doesn't actually increase your interest that much, so we'll just do 8.5 for the next 3 seasons. Alex Tuch is likely going to be sticking around. Lucian, how much are you looking for? You want 3.1? On a 1-year deal, I can do that. But how about we get that down a little bit and do 3.1 for 1 season? And then Boquist, I'm perfectly fine with letting you walk. Now, I mentioned earlier I probably should have just stuck with Kochetkov. So you know what? It's time to bring Kochetkov back to the team. Gustafsson for Kochetkov, 1 for 1. We just have to shake up our goaltending. All right, so with the $22 million that we have in cap space, because we have a little bit more after trading Gustafsson, we're going to load up on elite talent for the bottom 6. We're going to start with Claude Giroux. I'm going to overpay him $8 million to join the team. He's not going to be accepting immediately, but that's not the end of the world. Then we can go with Tyler Toffoli, Brock Nelson, and Chris Kreider, and we actually might try to bring all of them to the team. We won't be able to bring all of them, but Tyler Toffoli, I think we can bring you onto the team for $6.5 million, so I'm going to offer you that contract. Brock Nelson, I'd love to bring you in as well. Could we do $5 million for 1 season? I think that's a pretty fair contract for you. And then we'll also give a deal to Chris Kreider. I don't think we can afford all of these players, but as long as we can walk away with at least 2 of these 4, we'll be in a good spot. Now we're actually going to make a couple other deals. Jack Drury, I know I let you walk into free agency, but I actually wouldn't be against giving you 2.2 for the next 2 years, so maybe you can return to this team. And then Paul Cotter, although you're a grinder, you're actually one of the few grinders I like in the NHL. I'll give you a 2-year contract. We actually do a 3-year contract, maybe even a 4-year contract. I could do 4 years at $2.9 million. I think that's a great deal. Hopefully Cotter's going to be accepting that one. Now it's unfortunate, but we're going to miss out on some of the free agents. Chris Kreider is going to be joining the Dallas Stars. Alex Tuch's going to be re-signing. We are going to get Brock Nelson. Jack Drury is going to go to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Can't really blame him. Paul Cotter is going to be going to the Boston Bruins. Okay, we're missing out on everyone. We literally missed out on everyone. Okay, that is not what I was hoping for. I guess we bring in Kyle Palmieri now, maybe Lysell. I have no clue what we do. We missed out on a ton of elite players. Maybe I should have sat down and negotiated with them, but I refused to negotiate. So Kyle Palmieri here is $3 million for 1 season. Nyquist, I want to do a 1-year deal if anything, and I'll give you $4.5 million for 1 season. I don't want to be doing a multi-year contract with you. Braden Shen, I can bring you to the team to play bottom 6 minutes. Here's $3 million for 1 season. Hopefully you accept immediately. I have no clue why you're not. And then Morgan Barron, we can bring you back to the team. I don't recall if you were with us last season. I think you were. I actually might have traded you away. Morgan Barron's back on the team. That's the moral of the story. All right, everyone hates Quebec. It's official. Nobody wants to sign with the team. Braden Shen's going to be rejecting. Kyle Palmieri's going to be rejecting. We're not bringing in any free agents. We're going to miss out on everyone. All right, I can't believe I've reached this point. Jason Zucker is $4.9 million and a no movement. I really hope you accept. Zuccarello, I'm going to give you the exact same thing. We have to do a 1-year deal because I can't do multiple years. I'll do $5.5 million with a no movement. Like, we need to bring a couple free agents to the team. I can't have everyone rejecting. Zuccarello, welcome to the team. There is no way you chose the Buffalo Sabres over us. I hope you never see success, Zucker. So we're going to be running it back with a handful of these key pieces. I think the team is still looking really good. We got a couple upgrades to the bottom 6. I just need this team to be better defensively this season. We saw what happened last season with Gustafsson, but we changed things up by bringing in a new goaltender. Kochetkov, you're going to be the number 1. I'm expecting you to be way better than Gustafsson, even though you're a lower overall, and I think you're going to be able to do that. For some reason, I never see success with Gustafsson, so I fully expect us to win 60 games this season now that he's not on the team. I don't care if our goaltender is a lower overall, we'll somehow see more success. And just like that, we have solved all of our problems. First in the entire league at the trade deadline, a 46-17-1 record. Look at our defense, 2.52, the best in the entire league. Kochetkov was the difference. Gustafsson has been holding this team back for far too long. Kempe, White Johnson, Quinn Hughes, Alex Tuch, everyone's looking incredible. Zuccarello's having a great season as well. And then when it comes to goaltending, 42 wins, 6 shouts, a 920 and a 233. Gustafson was holding us back for the longest time. Not anymore. We're not making any trades considering how good we are. Let's not screw up this core. Now, the Quebec Nordiques are locked in this season. We're the best team in the entire league, a 58-23-1 record. We have the best offense and the best defense in the entire league. And why has all of this happened? Well, we got rid of Philip Gustafson, and that is why. Wyatt Johnston, 102 points. Kempe, 93. Quinn Hughes, 93. Alex Tuck, 78. The boys were lighting the lamp this season. And then when it comes to Kochekhov's numbers, incredible. 53 wins, 8 shouts, a 919, a 233. We have him locked down for 3 more years after this one at $4 million. That might be the best deal we've gotten so far in NHL 26. We're moving on to our first round matchup, and we have them. We get to take on the Florida Panthers in the first round. This could be tough. And when I say this could be tough, I mean this will be tough. Like, this is still a really good Florida Panthers team, but we're picking up 6 goals in game 1, 7 goals in game number 2, 2 goals in game 3. We just about swept the Florida Panthers. Unfortunately, we're going to be dropping game number 4. Can we respond in game 5? Yes, we can. I don't care if our goaltending hasn't been elite. We're scoring goals like crazy. So I need that offense to continue into the second round. We're taking on the Montreal Canadiens. If we keep on scoring goals like we did in the first round, no one's going to be able to stop us. We just scored 9 goals in game number 3. What is going on with this team? We really can't be stopped right now. So let's win one more game and advance to the conference finals. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. Back-to-back 1-goal games from Kochetkov. He's really been him for us. And who do we get to take on in the conference finals? Well, it's the team Kochetkov used to play for, the Carolina Hurricanes. They didn't want to protect you. They didn't think you were any good. It's time for you to get your revenge. We're winning game 2, we're winning game 3, but dropping game 4. So we split the series. Game 5 is going to be an important one, and we're dropping that one. This team can't collapse in the conference finals. I can't have this team folding in the conference finals. I need us to wake up. Siegenthaler's picking up the first goal. Will Cooley's picking up a power play goal. This all relies on Kochetkov in the third period, and he's going to be standing tall. He's going to be shutting out the Carolina Hurricanes, and we have game 7. It's game 7 between the Quebec Nordiques and the Carolina Hurricanes. The winner of this game is off to the Stanley Cup final, and I can tell you right now, it's going to be the Quebec Nordiques. This team is going to stand tall when it matters. I don't care if Sebastian Aho's picking up the first goal of the game. I don't care if we're down 5-2 entering the third period. Watch this insane comeback. We didn't score a goal. That's a tough look. Yeah, I have nothing to say about that loss. Nothing to say whatsoever. The offense vanished. The offense was the thing that had been carrying us the entire postseason, and it's going to be vanishing when it matters most. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup. Why am I not surprised? If they can take down the Quebec Nordiques, they're obviously going to be winning the Stanley Cup. But I'd like to apologize to all the Quebec Nordique fans out there. Quinn Hughes, 18 points. Will Cooley, 17. Kempe, 14. Wyatt Johnston, 13. This team showed up. Kochetkov had 11 wins, 3 shots, a 927 and a 218. Quebec fans, I'm sorry. Y'all deserved a Stanley Cup this season. You watched this team dominate. You dealt with 2 years of Philip Gustafson. We got rid of him, brought in Kochetkov, and he turned the franchise around. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. We're not winning a Stanley Cup quite yet, but we still have 7 years to go, so I think we'll be all right. Now, after that disappointing exit in the conference finals, we have to respond in the draft. So that's why we're going to bring in a lowly potential player. He's a 50 overall at 17 years old. Lots of time for him to develop. Is he going to be a decent enough defenseman for us? I have no clue. We'll have to wait and see. Now, when it comes to the re-sign phase, I'm not worried about bringing a lot of these players back. I will sign players to 2-way contracts just to play in the AHL for us, because we do need to have a couple guys in the system. Of course, we're going to be signing all the young rookies, and we have one mediumly potential rookie that's going to be signed. Right now, he's only a 73 overall, 20 years old, and that has me a little bit concerned. So if he doesn't start developing pretty quick, we actually might be trading him sooner than later. When it comes to these 5 guys right here, likely they're all going to be walking, and we'll just find replacements for them in free agency. Now, before we spend $20 million in cap space, we might as well sign a handful of these guys. Wyatt Johnston, I think we're going to trade you. I don't care if you just had 100 points. I'm not giving you $19 million on a 2-year deal. That's not happening. Will Cooley, how much are you going to be looking for? $10 million? I don't even know about giving you $10 million. That just seems like a lot. When it comes to Braden Schneider, $8 million on a 1-year deal. What's with everyone not wanting to sign reasonable contracts? Tham, he only wants a 1-year deal as well. Why does everyone only want to sign for 1 year? I don't really understand it. Like, we should be locking all these guys down to multiple year contracts. Sandin Pellikka, how about we do 8 years with you? If we did an 8-year deal, you want $8.9 million, and that's actually pretty reasonable. If we did 2 years though, we can lock you down for 2.4, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So Axel Sandin Pellikka, you're going to be returning to the team. Taylor Radish, you're going to be walking. Ryan Hartman, you're going to be walking. Berggren, you're going to be walking. Denton Matei, Matejchuk, I guess I can bring you back, but it has to be at the right price. And 5.7 million seems like a little bit much, but considering how much cap space we have, I can re-sign you for 5.4. So Matejchuk's going to be coming back to the team. Johnston, Cooley, Schneider, Tham. I'm not sure with you guys yet. All right, so why Johnston? I'm just not feeling a $19 million extension. So I'm going to send you over to the Edmonton Oilers and they can give you $19 million. Semyonov, Matt Savoy, Bogosian, and 2 first-round picks can be acquired for Wyatt Johnston. This is going to be a really big deal for us. Semyonov is an 81 overall power forward. He was just drafted 5th overall. When it comes to Matt Savoy, he's an 86 overall. He can be a really good playmaker. Of course, I'm going to play him on the top line. Maybe the second line, though, because Matt Barzal can just play first line minutes, and that wouldn't be a bad idea. Although they're rejecting our first offer, that's not the end of the world. How about we turn 2 second rounders into 2 first rounders? I think this is a pretty fair deal. Edmonton's going to be saying no. I'll take one of the first round picks out of the deal, and hopefully we can get this done. They're still saying no. I'll just swap a second rounder for a first rounder. Like, Wyatt Johnston has a lot of value, so I think we should be able to get this done eventually. If I have to give you my first round pick, I'm willing to do so, because our first round pick's not going to have as much value as yours. 2 second rounders isn't enough, so I guess we're swapping first. So here's our first rounder for 2029. Is that going to be enough? They're saying no because they want a 7th round pick, and I'm okay with throwing a 7th in this deal. So we're bringing 3 great young players to the team, a first round pick as well. I think we're fleecing the Edmonton Oilers, but unfortunately we have to give up 2 valuable 7th round picks. The lucrative 7th round picks have to be thrown in the deal, and surprisingly those aren't even enough, so I'll do a second rounder for 2030. This is quite a bit thrown into this Edmonton Oilers deal, but I want to get this one done. Now, we have missed out on a lot of elite players so far in this video. We haven't been able to get anyone to join the team so far. Things are different now. Miro Heiskanen, I am bringing you to the team. $15 million. We are going to do a full no movement clause. You and Quinn Hughes on our top pairing is going to be unstoppable. I'm giving you $15 million. You better accept that. Protas, you're next. We're going to lock Protas down for the next 4 years as well. I'm going to do $9.5 million with him. If we can walk away with these 2 players right here, we're going to be unstoppable. So let's just simulate a couple days. Like, I want to be walking away with Miro Heiskanen and I want to walk away with Protas. Can we get both of them? Well, Denton Matejchuk is going to be signing. Miro Heiskanen is off to the Oilers. Protas will sign with the team, so I guess we're not going to miss out on everyone. At least we're walking away with 1 free agent, but I'm very disappointed that we're not getting Miro Heiskanen. Now, this next deal is an absolute steal for us. Will Cooley and Braden Schneider are looking for some big money, and I don't really want to pay them that big money. However, I can bring in Matt Schaefer for the next 6 seasons. He's only getting paid $5.6 million right now. That's an absolute steal. Holmstrom, $2.4 million for an 85 overall. Will likely just ride out his contract, but if we can walk away with both of these players, that's going to be a big upgrade to the team. Like, we don't really need Will Cooley anymore because we have Protas. I'll throw in a 3rd round pick. I'm likely going to have to include a 2nd as well, and that's going to be the case. So a 2nd and 3rd rounder is going to be added into this deal. Is that going to be enough? It's a little bit low. It's time to bring out the lucrative 7th round picks. When in doubt, just bring out the lucrative 7th round pick and you'll be able to get the deal done, but not in this situation. We have to include multiple 3rd round picks. So it's going to be Will Cooley, Braden Schneider, 2 3rd rounders in a 2nd, Matt Schaefer and Holmstrom. Welcome to the team. Now, even after making all the trades and bringing pros to the team, we still have money to work with. Vincent Trocheck, you better accept $9.5 million. I have a feeling he's going to be letting us down. He's not going to be joining the team. Zuccarello, you were really good last season, so I should probably bring you back. I'll do $5.7 million. So Zuccarello, I'm hoping you join the team. Trocheck, I'm hoping you join the team as well. And then to finish it off, Shane Pinto, I can give you a 1-year deal. Here's $3.5 million. Why not? Now, it looks like making the conference finals is going to be helping us. Vincent Trocheck's going to join the team. Of course, Shane Pinto is going to join Edmonton. Why would he help us? We have now lost out on 2 players in this free agency to the Edmonton Oilers, but we're not going to be losing out on Zuccarello. He's joined the team. Also, since we didn't bring Schmid back to the team, we do need a new backup goaltender, and that's going to be Colton Ellis. Alright, so I think we should just re-sign Tham sooner than later, so I'm going to do 4.8 for the next 2 years with him. He's up to an 88 overall. He's going to play really good bottom 6 minutes because, yes, we have an 88 overall playing bottom 6 minutes. That's how deep our team is. Like, just look at this team. Alex Tuch, Matt Barzal, Kempe, Patrick Laine, Matt Savoy, Protas, Matt Zuccarello, Vincent Trocheck, Tham. Like, this is an incredible team right now. When it comes to the defense, that's looking incredible as well. And then when it comes to goaltending, Kochekhov's up to an 87. They're putting respect on his name. Okay, the Atlantic Division is the best division in hockey right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs are first in the entire league. The Quebec Nordiques are second. Even though we have a better offense than them and a significantly better defense, for some reason they have a better record. It's not fair, but that's beside the point. The Florida Panthers are third in the entire league. The Montreal Canadiens are 5th in the entire league, and they're in a wild card spot. That's how good the division is. Out of the top 5 teams, the only team that's not from the Atlantic is the New York Rangers. yeah, we're going to be in a lot of trouble unless we win our division, which basically means being first in the entire league. And I don't see why we can't be first in the entire league. Like, our offense is amazing, our goaltending is spectacular. Kochetkov, 29 wins, 2 shots, a 915 to 249. Once again, we're not going to make any trades because I don't even know what trades I would make for this team. We're elite from top to bottom. Let's not mess it up. All right, so we get the toughest first round matchup of all time. With the Quebec Nordiques finishing second, we get the Montreal Canadiens in the first round. The Florida Panthers are a wildcard team with 52 wins. This is the stupidest season of all time. The top 4 teams in the league all came from the Atlantic Division. That kind of makes me wonder a little bit, how bad was the bottom of the Atlantic Division? Because if the top was this good, they were playing a lot of Atlantic Division teams, meaning the bottom teams in the Atlantic were probably really bad. And that's not really the case. The Atlantic Division was really good. Like, the Ottawa Senators 25 wins, that's not good. But the Red Wings had 36 wins and 80 points. The Boston Bruins 93 points with 43 wins. The Buffalo Sabres 43 wins, 95 points. The entire Atlantic Division was really good this season. Like, I was expecting if the top was looking that good, the bottom was going to be looking like 18 win teams, 19 win teams. That was not the case. They were 40 win teams. Now we better be prepared. We're taking on a 50 win team in the first round. If we can beat this Montreal Canadiens team, then I think we definitely have a chance. We've won the first 2 games. We might sweep this team. We just about swept the Montreal Canadiens. If we can absolutely dominate this team, I don't think there's any reason we can't win a Stanley Cup. Granted, we're about to lose 3 games in a row and go to game 7. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that. We're going to close out in game 6 and we're moving on. And who do we get to take on the second round? I think we all saw this coming. It's going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs, the best team in the entire league, but we beat Montreal, and Montreal was harder than Toronto after the trade deadline, but that doesn't really mean too much. We've split the series with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Moving into game number 5, we're going to steal that one 8-2. The offense has been rolling so far in this series. Can it continue into game 6? It doesn't look like it, so we need game 7. So it's game 7 between the Quebec Nordiques and the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're exchanging goals in the first period. Moving into the second, Toronto's going to be taking a 3-2 lead. Patrick Laine is going to be picking up another one. I'm going to need the goal scorers on this team to show up. Adrian Kempe, Alex Tuck, Patrick Laine, you can pick up another one. But I need all of you guys showing up in the third period. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Austin Matthews is going to be picking up a series-winning power play goal. Holmstrom would pick up 1 goal. But as I just mentioned, it doesn't matter too much. Austin Matthews' power play goal is going to be the difference. And we're going to be falling in the second round. The Quebec Nordiques disappointed in the postseason once again. Granted, the Atlantic Division was loaded, and Toronto was a good team, so I got to give it to them. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, and I think that just makes things a little bit worse. They're going to be sweeping the Anaheim Ducks. If we could have gotten past the Toronto Maple Leafs, we would have been Stanley Cup champions. That's back-to-back years now we've lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, and there's not too much we can do about it, because the team showed up. I can't complain with the performances from anybody. Maybe Kochetkov could have been slightly better, but I'll take a 910 to 281 and 1 shutout. Like, these are good numbers. The Toronto Maple Leafs were an elite team. We lost to one of the best. What can I say? It's not like we're losing to below average teams or even wildcard teams. We're losing to Stanley Cup winning teams. So with that being the case, I can't really be that mad at the Quebec Nordiques, but we do have to figure it out pretty quick. Now, with the 18th overall pick we got from the Edmonton Oilers, I'm going to be selecting this medium top 4 potential defenseman. He's starting off as 65 overall. For some reason, I have faith in Bremanis, and I think he's going to be a good defenseman for us. Now, just in case that defenseman we drafted in the first round doesn't develop, I drafted this lowly potential one in the 4th round. So there's a handful of guys that we could re-sign to the team. Luosterainen wouldn't be a bad one. He's only 30 years old. He's only looking for a 2-year deal. We can actually do this. He's an 86 overall. I'd love to keep him around. How about we do 4.1 million and I up the trade protection to 50%? So that's going to be enough to keep Luosterainen around for the next 2 seasons. Vincent Trocheck's going to be walking. Berggren, I haven't 100% decided with you, but I think we're actually just going to let you walk. Your 2 overall is lower than Luosterainen. I think that just makes the most sense. Ryan Hartman, Taylor Raddysh, Zuccarello, all you guys are going to be walking as well. And then we'll sign a couple rookies. So after not having to spend too much money during the re-sign phase, it's time to spend some money now. Matt Barzal and Matt Savoy both need to be brought back to the team. Matt Barzal is 32 years old, so this contract's not going to kick in until he's 33, and I don't know how comfortable I am giving him $11 million. Matt Savoy, I would give you $11 million because we could lock you down for multiple years, but right now you're only looking for a 2-year contract. However, we could probably do a 3-year contract at $7.9 million. So Savoy, I will bring you back to the team. And then Barzal, I actually think we might trade you away. All right, so we're going to do a bit of a 3-team trade. Matt Barzal, I'm going to send you over to the Boston Bruins. I'm looking to walk away with 4 second-round picks. Unfortunately, we can't get 4 second-round picks, but we can get 3. Now we're going to go over to the San Jose Sharks, and we're going to pick up a playmaker, but it's not the playmaker you're thinking about, because it's not going to be Macklin Celebrini, but it's also not going to be Will Smith or William Eklund, but instead Vorobiev, 86 overall. He's going to be a really good playmaker. He can play on the second line. We can have Protas play center, and then Vorobiev can play on one of the wings. I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. Let's just trade 5 second-rounders away. I guess we technically don't have 5 second-rounders, but we do have 4 second-round picks, and is that going to be enough? It looks like it will be. Now, Alex Tuch is starting to get up there in age. He's 33 years old, under contract for the next 2 years at $8.5 million. Tham's likely going to be moving into a top 6 role, and I don't really want to pay Alex Tuch $8.5 million to play bottom 6 minutes, so I'm going to send him over to the St. Louis Blues. Dalibor Dvorsky and Justin Carbonneau are both going to be brought to the team. They can play some good bottom 6 minutes. Both of them are going to be incredible players for us. But the best part is both of them are locked down for multiple seasons. Both of them are on 2-year contracts. So not only are we going to have them for this season, but we'll also have them for next season. So Alex Tuch, a 3rd and 4th rounder, is going to be sent over. St. Louis is going to be accepting, and we're ready to roll. Except we do have $20 million in cap space, $24 million to be exact. Let's go throw a bunch of money at free agents for 1 season. Now, who is willing to accept a 1-year contract? Ryan Pollock, and that's about it. So maybe we won't be walking away with any superstars. With that being said, I'll still bring in a couple guys for bottom 6, like Alex Wenberg. I can give you a deal. Maverick Bourque, I could give you a deal. So this is what we'll do. We'll do $4.5 million for Maverick Bourque. He can come play some bottom 6 minutes. And on top of Maverick Bourque, Vincent Trocheck, why not? I can bring you back for another season. I'll do $5.5 million with a no movement, so Vincent Trocheck's going to be returning to the team. And although I highly doubt this is going to happen, like I can almost guarantee this doesn't happen, Brady Tkachuk, I'm going to give you 20% of the cap. Well, maybe not quite 20%, but here's $20 million for 1 season. All right, Brady Tkachuk, welcome to the team. All right, now I wasn't really expecting him to accept that, but you know what? We'll take it. So we'll either bring in Vincent Trocheck or Maverick Bourque, whichever one of these guys we can afford, and I think that's Maverick Bourque. Vinny Trocheck, we just don't have the money for you anymore. Now, just because of the way things worked out for us and us bringing Brady Tkachuk to the team, Tham is actually going to play 3rd-line minutes once again this season. Next season, we're going to have Kempe, Matt Savoy, and Tham on the top line. Vorobiev, Protas, and Patrick Laine are going to hold it down the second line. The team is looking amazing right now. Like, the defense is spectacular. Just look at these overalls. Who's going to stop this defense? And then Kochetkov, you drop 3 overalls, because that makes so much sense. That is one thing that will always infuriate me. Between coaches having way too big of an impact and goaltenders for some reason dropping an overall after having a really good season, it doesn't make sense. Like, explain to me, based on what Kochetkov did last season, why he should be dropping 3 overalls. How on earth does that make any sense? You can't explain it to me because it doesn't make any sense. We're also just going to simulate to the end of the season because we're not stopping to make any trades. Now, is Quebec starting to slowly fall off? We're 3rd in the entire league, a 50-25-7 record. The team just hasn't been the same the past couple of years. We're not scoring as many goals, but our defense is still elite. So I think we have to bring in some true snipers or just change the lines up a little bit. We have to get Quebec back to scoring 4 goals per game. I don't think we've ever scored 4 goals per game, but we have to get to that point. Brady Tkachuk, 56 goals. Maybe we keep him around. This man was an absolute dog this season. He was lighting the lamp. Patrick Laine, he's going to have 29 goals, and I think that's going to be 2nd on the team in scoring. Yeah, we need some more true goal scorers here. That's what we're missing right now. We don't have a lot of true elite goal scorers. Kochetkov, 44 wins, 4 shots, a 918, a 245. You better be careful. With these numbers right here, you might drop to a 78 overall, because that's how this game works. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 1st round. Let's get our revenge. Now, we're looking for a get back against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're going to be winning the first 2 games, and then disaster struck. We're dropping back-to-back games after that. We're moving into game number 5, and this is a must-win for us. It's a best of 3 moving forward, and we're going to be winning the first one. So how about we win the 2nd game here and just move on to the 2nd round? I think that's a great plan. And you know what? It looks like they're going to be listening to me. That's exactly what we're doing. We're moving on to the 2nd round. And who do we get in the 2nd round? Well, it's going to be another Canadian team. It's the Montreal Canadiens. We're always taking on these teams from the Atlantic Division, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Like, obviously, like, we're in the Atlantic Division. We're going to take on teams in the Atlantic Division. But I'm just surprised how many Atlantic Division teams we've been seeing. Like, it is possible for us to take on a Metro Division team in the 2nd round just based on the wild card and all that. But the Atlantic Division has been running the NHL. When it comes to the conference finals, we're going to be seeing the Philadelphia Flyers. It looks like there was no wild card team upsetting them. They're still the best team in the entire league, so we're going to have our hands full. The conference finals is going to be a big performance for us, and we are not performing. All right, we are off to a terrible start. We're down 3-1. I don't know what to say. This is supposed to be a big performance for this team. We're supposed to prove to the the entire NHL that we can compete with the best teams in the league, and right now we're not doing that, except we are doing that. We have a 2-goal lead entering the third period. We're going to close this game out. We have game number 6 ahead of us. Now let's just take this one game at a time. Game 6 is a must win for us. It's been a scoreless first period, and now it's been a scoreless second period. So this game is likely going to be decided by 1 goal, and who's going to score that goal? No one on our team. Denver Barkley and Trevor Zegras. That's who's going to be scoring in this one. So the Quebec Nordiques are going to be upset in the conference finals once again. If only the wildcard Florida Panthers could have made the conference finals, because then maybe we could have beat them. We were 2-0 against Atlantic Division teams. Why couldn't we go 3-0? I should actually probably double check. Were the Florida Panthers even a wildcard team? Like, I have no clue if they were. Yes, they were. And they did take on the Philadelphia Flyers in the first round, so they could have pulled off some amazing upset, and it would have been possible for us to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round, Montreal Canadiens in the second round, and then Florida Panthers in the conference finals. We could have taken on 3 Atlantic Division teams before we made it to the Cup final. That would have been wild. The Colorado Avalanche are taking down the Philadelphia Flyers in 5 games, so clearly we were not ready for the Stanley Cup final. We can't even get through the conference finals right now. Quinn Hughes 13 points, Laine 15, Brady Tkachuk 13 points, Protas 13 points. Like, the team showed up for me, don't get me wrong. And when it comes to goaltending numbers, they're slowly getting worse season after season. We got to change things for Kochetkov. We got to put some better pieces in front of him, because we can't have his goals against and save percentage getting any worse. Now, normally I wouldn't spend too much time talking about the 31st overall pick. However, we did get a gem. So let's pay attention to this man right here. All right, so Brady Tkachuk, we can give you an extension. I'm kind of curious to see how much you're going to be looking for. We gave you $20 million last season, and now we're down to $12.9 million. Based on the way you performed last season, I definitely want to bring you back to the team. I don't want to do a no movement though. So how about we take away the no movement and get this down to $12 million for the next 8 seasons? Actually, let's do $11.5 million for the next 8 seasons. I think Brady Tkachuk's going to be willing to accept that. We were just one of the best teams in the entire league. Brady, are you going to be accepting that contract? Yes, you are. Okay, so that turned out to be one of the greatest fleeces in NHL history. You give him $20 million for 1 year, and then he helps you on the back end. When it comes to the rest of these pieces, they're all going to walk, except for the rookies who we're going to sign. Alright, so we have to really decide who's going to be returning to the team. Who are we going to be building this franchise around? Tham, of course, you're coming back to the team. You're 23 years old. Axel Sandin-Pellikka, you're probably going to move up in the lineup. You might even play some first pairing minutes this season. Jake Wallman, Patrick Laine, I think we're going to walk away from both of you guys. You're getting up there in age. We have to worry about the future. And if we're being honest, the future is now. Tham, I would love to keep you around for the next 5 years. How about we do $8.6 million for the next 5, and I believe that will keep you around for the rest of the rebuild. Actually, let's do 8.8. 8.8 keeps Tham around. I can give you a no movement as well, and if I give you that no movement, we can do less money. Hold on now, we might be onto something. $8 million for the next 5 seasons with Tham. That keeps him around for the rest of the rebuild. I think that's the move. When it comes to Axel Sandin-Pellikka, I'm looking to do the exact same with him. However, he's only looking for a 2-year deal. That's not the end of the world, because you know what no movements do? They get the contract interest up quite a bit. So how about we do $8 million for the next 5 years? Is that enough to convince you to join this team? I believe it is. So Tham and Axel Sandin-Pellikka are going to be locked down. Dalbo Dvorsky, I want to keep you on this team, and it depends on the price. $3.5 million is definitely an elite price. But how about we do $3.2 million for the next 2 seasons? Dvorsky's going to be sticking around. Justin Carbonneau, you played 4th line minutes for me last season, but they were good 4th line minutes, so here's 2.2. And then that medium elite potential defenseman we drafted a handful of years ago, Regan's up to a 79 overall. I'll do a 2-year deal at $2.4 million. We'll have him under contract for this season and 2 more after, so I think we're in a pretty solid spot. But there is one other player that we definitely have to re-sign, arguably the most important piece to this team, Kochetkov. He wants $7.5 million. How about we do a 5-year deal with a no movement? 5 years, $7.7 million. Actually, I'll make that $8 million. We're locking down everyone for $8 million for the next 5. Everyone's getting no movements. Also, I'm bugging. Quinn Hughes has been here for 5 years. That means we're 5 years into the rebuild. I don't need to give players 5-year extensions. I only need to give them 4-year extensions, because we have them under contract for this season. Give them 4 more, that's 5. That means we're at 10 years. I'm giving everybody an extra year on their contract, apparently. I guess I'm just that nice of a guy. Now, I think this is the deal we're going to do with Patrick Laine. Laine and Matejchuk are going to be sent over to the Chicago Blackhawks. Schremp and Barreau are both going to be brought to the team. Schremp, I'm a little bit concerned with how much I'm going to have to pay you. Granted, you are an 89 overall sniper. You're only 23 years old. So if I have to give you $11 million, I'm willing to do so. Barreau, you're a good young player. You're going to develop, likely jump onto the bottom 6 in the next couple years. Laine and Matejchuk's not going to be enough, but I can throw in some draft compensation. So here's a 2nd round pick for 2032. I'm hoping that's enough. They just need a little bit more. Hopefully the lucrative 7th round pick can make the difference in this deal. If not, we have to throw in 2 lucrative 7th round picks, and that's what we're going to do. So Shrimp and Bro are both being brought to the team. Now we just need to sign that man. Now, how much is Shrimp going to be asking for? I'm hoping it's not something ridiculous. Could we do under 11 million? He wants 11 million exactly. What if we did a multi-year deal? Then his asking price is 8.9 million. With Shrimp, we need to lock him down to a 5-year deal. 5 years with a no movement. We might be able to do just over $11 million. I can do 11.5. $11.5 million. Keep Shrimp around. He's going to be an amazing sniper for us. I think this is a no-brainer. So our team's basically set for the next 5 years. I'm hoping that we don't have to see a lot of changes. And even if we have to make a lot of changes, we can't. We just give everyone no movements, but that's fine. We have an amazing core here that we can certainly build around. We have great goaltending, great defense, great offense. Everything about this team is great. Although our backup goaltender is only a 77 overall, he has medium elite potential, so he's great as well. There is no weaknesses on Quebec. It's time for this team to win a Stanley Cup and bring it home. Now we're back to the good old days of the Atlantic Division being so incredibly stacked. Quebec, Toronto, Florida are the top 3. The 7th best team in the entire league, that's the Montreal Canadiens. So there is a possibility we go through the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round and only play Atlantic Division teams. The Atlantic Division has just been something different in this video. They have been so incredibly good, it makes no sense. Quinn Hughes, Brady Tkachuk, Savoy, Shrimp, y'all are playing your role here. You know what you have to do. The second line, y'all have been frauds. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting a lot more from you guys. And then Kochetkov, you're probably going to be down to a 70 overall by the end of this season because you posted a 921 and a 237. Like, those are not good enough numbers. I need to see a 960 and a 150. And without those numbers, you're going to regress. So in the first round, we're taking on the Buffalo Sabres. In the second round, either the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Florida Panthers. And then in the conference finals, potentially the Montreal Canadiens. Now, before we take on Montreal or even Toronto or Florida, we have to get past the Buffalo Sabres, but it's the Buffalo Sabres we're talking about. We're not going to be losing to them in the first round. We're not going to be able to sweep them, but we will take them down 5 games or 6 games. We can also take them down 6 games as long as we win game number 6. We are not blowing a 3-0 series lead. Y'all cannot blow a 3-0 series lead to the Buffalo Sabres of all teams. Whatever you do, do not lose this game right here. This is not happening. This cannot happen. We cannot blow a 3-0 series lead to the Buffalo Sabres. Wow. Shut out. We got shut out in game 7. We blew a 3-0 series lead to the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, we might have to relocate. The streets in Quebec are burning right now. The fans are rioting, and I don't blame them. Y'all blew a 3-0 series lead to the Buffalo Sabres of all teams. Yeah, I'm not really surprised the fans are tight right now. Now, if you're wondering what our offensive numbers were during the postseason, or even our defensive numbers, too bad. We're not looking at them. I just want to ignore what happened. I'm going to completely ignore this draft too. That's how upset I am. I don't care about what we did during the draft here. I mean, granted, we only had 4 picks, but that's beside the point. I don't care what happens in the draft. I only care about us performing in the postseason, and that hasn't been happening. Now, after that disappointment, the team's not going to be the same. Jake Wellman's finally going to be leaving. Luosterainen's finally going to be leaving. We're probably going to let these guys walk as well because I don't think we can sign them to 2-way contracts. I will give Cullen a qualifying offer. We'll sign these rookies, but we're going to have to find some cheap replacements for the bottom 6. Now, before we even worry about this season, we have to worry about some extensions. Quinn Hughes, it's time for you to ask for $20 million, and I can't really say no to this. You signed the greatest contract of all time last time we negotiated, so I'll do this for you. $20.5 million for the next 4 years. That's not going to leave us with a lot of money, so we're likely going to be losing a handful of pieces. Semyonov, I can definitely bring you back to the team. We'll do a 3-year extension. How does $5.3 million sound? Actually, we'll do less than that. We'll do $5.2 million for Semyonov. And basically, after signing those 2 deals, we have to let almost everyone else walk. Except for Bogosian, we can do 1.3 for the next 2 seasons. Now, I actually don't think we're going to make any trades because we have enough players ready for next season. The only guy I was looking at trading was Siegenthaler, but I think we're actually better off just riding out his contract. Like, we're going from $8 million to $20 million with Quinn Hughes. That's using up basically all of our cap space. So even if I traded Siegenthaler, we would have to bring in a really cheap replacement, and I don't think we can find a really cheap replacement that's going to be an 89 overall. So we're going to be riding out Siegenthaler's contract, Protus's, and Kempe's. We need to win this season. I have put this team in a position to see success, and for some reason, we just haven't figured it out yet. Now, the last thing I want to see happen entering our final couple years is us not win a Stanley Cup. Like, we definitely have enough talent count here to win a Stanley Cup. I actually don't know why we haven't won a Stanley Cup yet. It's a little bit ridiculous. But Quebec has an elite team. There is no weaknesses. This is probably the best team we're going to have for the remainder of the video based on how many players we're going to lose over the offseason. So if Quebec wants to win, they have to win right now. We have to figure it out this season. We need to be great in the first round, second round, third round, and even the Stanley Cup final. We need to be great in every round. No more messing around. Now, unfortunately, I think the Quebec Nordiques might be washed. Fifth in the entire league, a 46-26-10 record. The league's incredibly competitive right now. And with it being so competitive, who do we get to take on the first round? The Toronto Maple Leafs. Yep, Florida's going to be first in the entire league. The Toronto Maple Leafs are finishing third, which is going to have them second in the division. And with us finishing fifth, we're third in the division. And you know who wasn't too far behind us? The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens. So that means there could have been another really good Atlantic Division team that isn't making the playoffs, like the Detroit Red Wings, who had a 44-34-4 record, and they're missing the playoffs. No, that's just not right. So we're going to have our hands full in the first round and the second round and the conference finals. No matter what round we're in, we're going to have a really tough matchup. Kochetkov, 41 wins, 3 shots, a 902 and a 275. You can't start regressing on me now. You have to be that guy for me. You've shown signs of it in the past, but you can't start regressing now. I'm going to need you to play the best hockey of your career. We're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's lock in. So Kochetkov, as I just mentioned, I need some of the best hockey you've ever given us. We're winning game number 1, but dropping game number 2. Don't drop game 3. We are putting ourselves in a tough spot right now. It's a best of 3 moving forward. We have to win game number 5. We can't afford to lose that one. We're going to be winning it 2-1. So close this out in game number 6, because if we lose game 6, we're guaranteed to lose game 7. And we don't have to worry about it. We're scoring 8 goals, which is going to be more than enough. It's time to move on to the second round. And what a surprise, another Atlantic Division team. This one's going to be the Montreal Canadiens. We're down 3-0 in the series. We won game number 4, but we still have a huge hill to climb. Can we steal game number 5 as well? No, we can't. We're eliminated. Of course, the Quebec Nordiques are going to completely fold in the second round. Why wouldn't this team fold? Now, we're going to have our hands full moving forward because we're going to lose a couple players. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to be Stanley Cup champions, taking down the Vegas Golden Knights. What a surprise. It's going to be an Atlantic Division team. Never would have expected that. We're actually going to look at our postseason numbers this time. Savoy, 11 points. Schrepp's picking up 10. Quinn Hughes is picking up 8. But when it comes to goaltending, Kochetkov, you actually did step it up for me a little bit. A 915 to 272. The offense just wasn't quite good enough. The offense completely vanished when it mattered most, so maybe we have to make some trades accordingly. Now, normally I would be gassed about a player like this. A lowly potential player in the first round, 32 goals and 36 assists last season, but it doesn't matter because he's not going to develop in time. He's not going to be a good trade asset for us. This Quebec team is having a very difficult time finding things to celebrate. Like, at least this mediumly potential goaltender is going to have a little bit of trade value. He's not going to have a ton, but he's going to have a little bit. So we have $10 million in cap space, and we're going to be losing a lot of key pieces. Protas is gone, Kempe's gone, Siegenthaler's gone. We just can't afford to bring these guys back. Like, maybe we can re-sign Protas. Never mind, he wants $11 million, so he's going to be leaving. There's going to be a lot of changes to this team, and I'm not really too sure if we're going to be the same. Now, if things weren't bad enough, let's lose a couple more pieces. Savoy, how much is your extension going to cost us? $16.1 million. I don't really know if we can do that. I know you were just our top performer, but that's a lot of money. Regan, $11 million is also a lot of money. I think we might have to trade both of you. I will re-sign Myers. He can be a third pairing defenseman. Here's $850K for the next 2 years. That's a cheap enough option for us. Justin Carbonneau, I guess I can talk to you as well. You're looking for $2.7 million. How about we do $2.6 for the next 2? You can stick around for the rest of the video. But when it comes to Dalibor Dvorsky, Regan, Matt Savoy, I don't know what we're going to do. So I think this is what we're going to have to do. Matt Savoy, I'm going to trade you over to the Chicago Blackhawks. Oliver Moore, a 4th rounder and 3rd rounder, is going to be brought in. Oliver Moore is going to be under contract for the next 3 years, and that's going to be the rest of the video. We need somebody who's going to be locked down for the rest of the video. I can't bring him to the team and then give him $16 million next season. We just don't have the cap space. That's the main reason we're trading Matt Savoy. Like, if we re-sign Matt Savoy, we basically have to say goodbye to everyone else, and I can't say goodbye to a lot of our great players. Now, we're going to make one more move because we need another sniper on the team. Koltsov's going to be brought in. We probably could get something else in this deal, and you know what? We might as well ask for something else. Give me at least a 3rd round pick back. How about multiple 3rd round picks? So we're looking for Koltsov and 2 3rd rounders. They're going to be saying no because we need to add a little bit more, so I'll throw in a lucrative 7th rounder and we'll get this deal done. Koltsov's going to be playing some second line minutes. He's going to give us some more scoring. Now let's just go sign some guys for the bottom 6. 6. Okay, now this is definitely the move. Massar, 1.4 million for the next 2 years. You're an 81 overall. That's a steal. Now another forward we're going to bring to the team is Jarventi, 1.9 million for the next 2 years. He's going to play some good fourth line minutes, and then we have to bring one defenseman in. Ideally, the defenseman we bring to the team is going to be under $2 million. They're probably going to be an 81 overall. We just need to find somebody willing to accept a very reasonable contract, and that is sometimes very difficult. But Ethan Dalmastro, you can come to the team, 1.8 for the next 2 years. Now, plain and simple, we're going for offense this season. I'm expecting this team to score a lot of goals, and they better score a lot of goals. Sandin, Pelka, and Hughes are going to be our top pairing. I'm expecting these two guys to both have at least 60 points this season. It's all about offense. I don't care if we can't keep the puck out of the net. It's all about offense. Kochetkov has dropped to an 83 overall. We still have him locked down for the rest of the rebuild. We're doomed. Giving Kochetkov that big deal is going to backfire on us, but you know what? Maybe it won't. He has an X factor now, and I feel like X factors play a way bigger part in the simulation than we realize. Or at least that's what I'm going to tell myself to convince us that Kochetkov's going to be elite this season. I guess we'll find out pretty quick if that's going to be the case. Now, in situations like this, you bring out all reliable. No face cam, no looking at stats, no looking at anything. We just simulate the entire postseason. We are going to lock in for this postseason run. Not only are we going to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round, this team is going to win a Stanley Cup. We're off to a good start. I take that back. We're dropping game number 2. We're responding in game 3. We have a 3-1 series lead. We took down the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5 games. We're moving on to the second round. And what a surprise. We're taking on the Detroit Red Wings. And what are the Detroit Red Wings? Well, they're an Atlantic Division team. Granted, taking on Atlantic Division teams in the second round really isn't that uncommon. But we got past the Red Wings. We've made it to the conference finals. We have never made it past the conference finals before. This team has folded time and time again. Is that going to be happening again? Potentially. We have to win. Wow, that is a tough way to go out. We just lost game 7 10-5 in a game 7 elimination. When you have to step up and play some of the best hockey you've ever played, we allowed 10 goals. That is crazy work. After we lost this game 3-0, I lost complete and utter faith in the team. Like, we're about to enter game 7 after not scoring a goal in the last game. You're not going to have any momentum. But then proceeding to allow 10 goals in the following game. Like, we allowed 13 goals in this stretch right here of 2 games. 13 goals allowed in 2 games is wild. And the fact that we only scored 5 goals in 2 games, granted, all 5 goals came in game 7. No, that is crazy work. We're going to fall to the Carolina Hurricanes. The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions, but we won 61 games this season. The Quebec Nordiques won 61 games this season. The best team in the Atlantic Division. We were the best team in the NHL. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. We're losing in the conference finals yet again. Brady Tkachuk, Oliver Moore, Tham, Shrep. I have nothing to say. Nothing to say whatsoever. Everyone folded. Kochetkov, you're an 83 overall, don't care. 49 wins, 6 shots, a 919 to 244. But when the postseason came around, everyone folded. We lost a game 10-5. I will never get over that. I don't care if any of these numbers look good, and a lot of them don't look that good. When it comes to goaltending, this is what I'm not shocked at. Okay. How is your goals against 43? You played 1 minute and allowed 1 goal. How on earth did you allow 1 goal in 1 minute? Nah, bro, I might have to trade you. I don't care if you're just our backup. You allowed 1 goal in 1 minute. Your goals against was 43. Kochetkov, you're lucky that this is distracting me because your numbers are not good either. So we're entering the final 2 seasons. The Quebec Nordiques are yet to win a Stanley Cup, and it's not for a lack of trying. We just can't win in the conference finals. So I don't really care about this medium top 4 potential player we're walking away with. He's a 76 overall. That would have been good a couple seasons ago, but you're likely not going to develop in time. Like, we only have 2 seasons, so unless you turn into an 85 overall player next season, you're likely not being brought to the team. We are going to take this player 40 picks early. Is it working out for us? Yes, it is. We're going to trade him. Plain and simple. He will be traded away. He is a trade asset. And you know what? Based on that last selection, let's just keep on taking players early. That one's not going to work out for us, though. Now, Dalibor Dvorsky, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to afford to bring you back to the team. You want $9.3 million. I don't have that. We currently have $6.3 million. All of that money is going to be spent on extensions because we got to rock the same team for the final 2 seasons. Is that the right decision to make considering we just lost in the conference finals? No. No, it is not. But we vibe. Now, as I said, the plan is to run the exact same team for the final 2 seasons. I can almost tell you right now that will not happen. Matt Schaefer, how much do you want? $13 million. If I bring you back to the team, we can't afford to sign anyone else. So do I trade you and we tried to bring in 2 elite players for $7 million? That could be the move. Bogosian, I can't bring you back to the team. You're going to want 18 million. You want 6, so obviously it's not going to happen. Burrow, you're looking for a bag as well. $2 million bucks. I can actually do that. How about we do 1.75 for next season? That's a pretty reasonable contract for an 81 overall. Massar, how much are you going to be looking for? You want 2.3? I don't know if I should do that or not. Let's go figure this Matt Schaefer deal out first, and then we'll go from there. Like, yes, we have the money to bring Matt Schaefer back to the team, but just look at this trade value. We could get like 3 or 4 really good players for him. So this is what I'm thinking. Matt Schaefer for Levshunov, Rosehill, 2 first-rounders, and a second-round pick. We can then flip those first-round picks into more assets. Levshunov's only getting paid $8.9 million, so we can definitely take on that cap hit. Rosehill can be a good third-pairing defenseman for us. I'll throw in a first-round pick as well, and we'll get this deal done. Like, our first-round picks really aren't going to have that much value, especially our 2035 first round pick. A first rounder wasn't enough, so I'll throw in a third as well. No, these guys are bugging. Here is 2 third-round picks on top of Matt Schaefer and a first rounder. Chicago, just accept the deal. Perfect. Now, I just love the fact that Koltsov completely fell off after 1 season. He is now an 84 overall that we're paying $8.2 million. How about we don't do that? So we're going to send him over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Martins is going to be brought in. He's an 87. Let's just hope he doesn't drop 3 overalls like Koltsov did, because that was absolutely ridiculous. We should be able to get a couple draft picks back in this deal as well. Maybe a second and third rounder. They're going to be rejecting that. I'll take the third round pick out. They're still going to be rejecting that. Are we getting fleeced in this deal? Absolutely. Especially considering we have to give up more now. Why on earth are we giving up more in this deal? I have no clue, but all I care about right now is winning, and Quebec hasn't done that yet. Alright, so I think this might be the last move we make before we head into next season. We are going to be running slightly different teams between the final 2 years. We're going to have to pick up some guys for the 4th line next season, and maybe even the third pairing defense, but other than that, a majority of the core is going to be staying the same. Shanahan's being brought to the team. He's going to be a good bottom 6 player for us. Like, we're bringing in 85 overalls to play bottom 6 minutes for us. That's how desperate we are right now. I don't care what overall you are. The only thing I care about is whether or not you're going to show up for me. Now, it actually turns out we're 1 centerman short, so we're going to pick up one from the Calgary Flames. Yarventi, a 4th, 6th, and 7th round pick is going to be sent over. The fact that I need to include a little bit more is kind of wild. Like, I'm giving you all these late round draft picks, and you're like, you know what? I still need an additional 6th rounder. So I would like to run this exact same team for the final 2 years, but I'm not really sure if that's the right decision, considering we haven't won anything. Why should we keep running it back with the exact same team when we haven't won anything? I have no clue, but that's the logic we're going to use. We're looking to run this team back because we're going to win in year number 9, and then after we win year 9, we run it back with the exact same team so we can win in year 10. Kochetkov, you are an 85 overall. You have exact start potential, but your role is an elite goaltender. I need you to play like an elite goaltender for every postseason game. No games off, no days off, no more folding. Let's get a Stanley Cup, because there's no way the Quebec Nordiques aren't winning one. Now, I don't know how much more we have to do here, but the Quebec Nordiques are once again first in the entire league. I wonder if we've ever been in this position before. Brady Tkachuk's going to lead the way, 91 points. Oliver Moore, 85. I don't need to go over scoring. We know what this team does. They perform in the regular season. Kochetkov puts up 50 wins, 5 shots, a 916 to 246, and then we completely collapse in the first round of the postseason. Well, I shouldn't say we collapse in the first round of the postseason. We collapse in the conference finals, and we only lose in the conference finals, and I just saw who we're taking on the first round. We're doomed. Because not only are we taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round, who is the Tampa Bay Lightning's goaltender right now? Thatcher Demko. That man will always shut me down. It doesn't matter what NHL game we're in. Granted, we have beat Thatcher Demko a handful of times so far in NHL 26, so maybe things are different here. We have a 3-2 series lead. We have to close out in game number 6, because I'm not playing game 7 Thatcher Demko. We have to play game 7 Thatcher Demko. Game 7 Thatcher Demko in an NHL game is a scary man, because you know he's going to be showing up. We have a 1-goal lead entering the third period. Demko's been amazing, but so is Kochetkov. So the third period is going to decide this one, and who's going to step up when it matters? Well, it looks like it's going to be the Quebec Nordiques. We're picking up 2 goals to their 1, and we're moving on. But we certainly can't get comfy, because we have moved on before. We have made it to the second round multiple times. We've even made it to the conference finals multiple times, but every time we make it to the conference finals, what happens? We collapse. We can never get past the conference finals, but this time I think things are going to be different. We have a 3-1 series lead on the Florida Panthers. We're going to close it out in game number 6 because we're going to drop game number 5. Just don't blow a 3-1 series lead. All right, no more messing around. We have one team in front of us, one more team until we make it to the Stanley Cup final. We just have to beat the Washington Capitals. We're winning game number 1. We're dropping game 2. We're winning game 3, and we're winning game 4. We have a 3-1 series lead. We are one win away from the Stanley Cup final. We're here. The Quebec Nordiques, in year 9 of the rebuild, have made it to the Stanley Cup final. Now all we have to do is win one more series. One more series against the Edmonton Oilers. We need to lock in. It has taken far too long for us to get to this point. We have been an elite team for basically the past decade now, but we have never made it to this point. We have never won a Stanley Cup until right now. After dropping the first 2 games, we're going to be responding with back-to-back wins. Game 5 is the most important. We need to win game number 5, and we're going to shut them out. One more victory is all I ask for the Quebec Nordiques, and we're finally doing it. The Quebec Nordiques are Stanley Cup champions in the year 2034. This team finally accomplished the impossible. It's a great day. Now, I really never thought we would make it to this point. I really never thought the Quebec Nordiques would actually win a Stanley Cup. Brady Tkachuk, 12 goals and 12 assists for 24 points. Martin, 17 goals, 5 helpers, 22 points. Hughes is picking up 20 points. Vorobyev, he's going to be picking up 19. But when it comes to goaltending, a 936 and a 189. That's what we've been needing. We've been needing a performance like this for a long time, and Kochetkov has given it to us at 34 years old. 16 wins, 3 shutouts, a 936 and a 189. As much as I want to celebrate this, the job is not done. We have one more year left in the rebuild. Let's finish it off going back to back. Now we finally made it to year 10. Brady Tkachuk, Oliver Moore, Thammer the top line. We know what this team's about. We know these guys are going to step up when it matters. Quinn Hughes, Sandin Pellikka, y'all were elite last season. I think it's a good thing that we finally have you guys together. Kochetkov has dropped to an 82 overall. His role is starting goaltender now. I don't care about any of that. We saw this man perform for us last season. He's ready to perform again. So we've won one Stanley Cup, but one Stanley Cup is not enough for the Quebec Nordiques. A 52-23-7 record in the final season. That's not good enough. Truthfully, I wish we finished with 65 wins, but who cares about that? Brady Tkachuk's going to lead the way once again. 57 goals this season. Tham, Oliver Moore, we already know what you guys are up to. Quinn Hughes, 54 points. Bro is 35 years old. He hasn't really regressed too much. He has dropped a couple overalls, but he's still 93, so he's still serviceable enough for us. And then when it comes to Kochetkov, yes, 43 wins, 11 shouts, a 923 and a 220 after dropping an overall. That makes quite a bit of sense. So Kochetkov's going to be having a career season at 35 years old. We have the Ottawa Senators in the first round. Let's go back to back and finish this video off. So no point messing around. Let's just sweep the Ottawa Senators, move on to the second round. I am not scared of Ottawa whatsoever. This team right now is just rolling. 2 goals allowed through the first 2 games. Game number 3 we'll pretend didn't happen, but we're going to be sweeping the Ottawa Senators and we're moving on to the second round. Quebec's on one right now. The Quebec Nordiques are not looking to lose in the second round. They're not even looking to lose in the conference finals or the Stanley Cup. They're just looking to win Stanley Cups right now. We've won 4 games in a row. Can we make it 6? Can we sweep the New York Rangers? Unfortunately not. We actually lost game number 1. I thought we won that one, but that's beside the point. We have a 3-1 series lead. We're closing it out in game number 5. We're 8-1 so far in the postseason, and now we're off to the conference finals to take on the Philadelphia Flyers. So Philly is the lone team standing in front of us, making it to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. And I don't think the Philadelphia Flyers are going to be able to stop us because this team is rolling right now. We're going to be dropping game number 4, but all we have to do is win one more game and we're back in the Stanley Cup final. But we've dropped 2 games in a row. Do not drop 3 games in a row. We're going to lose in game 7. We are going to blow another 3-0 series lead. There is no way the Quebec Nordiques are blowing multiple 3-0 series leads. Okay, I don't think we have to worry about losing this one. We're going to close it out. We have a 5-1 lead entering the third period. There's no way we collapse here. We almost collapsed. Luckily, we're picking up 2 goals. We're winning this one 7-4, and we're back in the Stanley Cup final for the second year in a row. So we're back in the Stanley Cup final. The Quebec Nordiques are looking to go back-to-back to finish this video off. We can't fold now. We've made it all the way to this point. There is no more losing. The Quebec Nordiques are all about winning games, and that's what we're going to do. Let's sweep the Colorado Avalanche and be back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. That would be the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we get swept, but this is the second worst case scenario. We're down 3-1 the series. So we need one of the biggest comebacks of all time. We're picking up 3 goals in the first period, another 2 in the second. Cole Caulfield's goal in the third period means nothing because we're stealing this one away. We're off to game 6 now. So it's just one win at a time. Let's not make this too complicated. We can't worry about a game 7 victory if we can't win game 6. So let's just win game number 6. This is a big game. I need Quebec to stand tall when it matters. We're allowing the first 2 goals of the game. We actually ended up allowing the first 3 goals of the game, but we're scoring back to back, and we're going to pick up another 2 goals in the third period because that's what this team does, but I guess not. Marty Natchez is picking up an empty net goal. The Colorado Avalanche are going to be Stanley Cup champions. The Quebec Nordiques in year number 10 just couldn't cap it off. Now, this is certainly a heartbreaking finish for the Quebec Nordiques. They were looking to go back-to-back 2 Stanley Cups in the final 2 years, but they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to be winning last season, and then they're going to lose this season. Right off the rip, I already know what the big difference was. Martins didn't score goals this time. This man was lighting the lamp last postseason. He had 17 goals. This season, he had 6. Granted, last season, he did shoot 21%, and that is incredibly unrealistic. But we couldn't even get a fraction of that goal scoring, and I think that's really what hurt us. We needed a couple more elite goal scorers because the goal scoring on this team, it was too spread out. Brady Tkachuk was our best goal scorer, and he shot 19.6%, picking up 18 goals. He was lighting the lamp this season. He knew what he had to do. Kochetkov, explain to me, as the older you got, the better you were in the postseason. Like when we had this man in his prime at 28, 29, 30 years old, he didn't really step up in the postseason. Then these last couple seasons happened. A 919 to 244, a 916 to 246, a 924 and a 220. And then when you look at the postseason numbers, he had a 937 and a 189. Not that long ago, he had a 930 and a 195. Like, this man aged like fine wine. The older he got, the better he got, even though he was dropping in overall. But I guess it doesn't really matter. The Quebec Nordiques over the past 10 seasons are only going to be taking home 1 Stanley Cup. We had far too many conference finals exits, way too many Stanley Cup losses. Granted, we only had 1 Stanley Cup loss, but that is way too many. The Quebec Nordiques should have saw more Stanley Cups, but they always found a way to choke in the most important games.